Hi, it's Peg, and I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to do another fun, snarky page for Art Journal Snark Attack 2020. And I'm using some Distress Oxide right now to colorize these pages. There's color on them already, but it's not exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to add some color because I want to blend that black side in with the other. Um, It's not going to be exactly the same because it'll be another journal page, but I have an idea about what I want to do today. Today is day 26. That means there are 26 pages that I have made this month for this challenge on Art Joy Sharing, which is our Facebook group. And if you want to join us, just make sure and answer the questions when you push the button to join, and we'd be happy to have you there. But yeah, Snark Attack. There's a whole list of snarky quotes. I have chosen to use some of them and to use some of my own that I found elsewhere. And this is one of those. I have this funny little bird, which is just calling to me saying, "Put me on a page. I think I belong on a page." And so I get the color from those distress oxides down, and then I want to activate that. So I'm going to spritz it with water, and I'm going to let it do its thing, oxidizing. And then I'm going to get a stamp, and I'm going to wet the stamp and let that put a pattern in the background and see what that does. So it's there, but it's not exactly what I had in mind. So I'm going to grab these. These are just pieces of paper that I've cut out into a mask, and I'm going to spray that with some more Distress Oxide spray. I think this is Faded Jeans, and I'm going to spray on top of that to make my background. And it's on the page I'm working on today, it's going to get obliterated anyway because I decided to go to some stencils and do some stencil work. I don't know, I'm just layering and layering. You know how I am. I love my layers. And I'm chatting right now with a couple of friends of mine, dear friend from uh, Canada and another one in California, and we're just talking about the news of the day and what's going on. I miss my friends. I miss being able to go out and do things with my friends. So it's really kind of nice that excuse me, oh my goodness, got things like Zoom where we can, still chat and talk to one another. FaceTime, instant message, all of that stuff, because otherwise we would be so disconnected from society right now. So now I'm thinking about stencils, and when I think about stencils for these small pages, I like borders, and this is this month's stencil club 9 by 12, and I have another 9 by 12 that I've cut into pieces, and I think that's what I'm going to do with this one. So I cut it down and I add uh, tape to the edge, and that way I know that these three pieces were part of that original stencil because I used the same tape on the border of each one of those. But now I'm previewing and seeing which of these designs I want to use on my edge. And then I end up going for this other piece that I'd cut. Uh, this is from another club set from 2018, I believe. And I'm just going to grab my brush and my purple pad, and I'm going to add that design to the background. This is kind of a kitchen wallpaper pattern kind of design, and I just think it's cool. It uh, adds some of the texture to the page without overpowering. So I'm going to quickly, apply that ink. This is archival ink, and these makeup brushes that you can get off of Amazon. And if you want to shop Amazon, use my link below because it helps out my channel. And get yourself some of these brushes because they are great, especially with ink. They're really great with ink. They work with paint too. They wash out beautifully. So think about it. So there. Look at that pattern. Isn't that cool? So you can see I whacked a piece off the top of that because the smaller piece I can put in my travel bag. I don't have to take the great big piece. And now I'm getting this other piece of a stencil. This one came from Stencil Club, and it is, oh, maybe not. This is L348 from Meguiar. It's a piece of a stencil, I believe. But look for a 9 by 12 if you're looking for that, because I think there's more design to that than what I have. And then this one is the club one for this month. So I'm using a combination of different stencil designs to get my background and my border pattern created. So I'm going to mask this off just to hold it in place and to keep the ink from going where I don't want it to go. And this is some painter's tape. I just, touch it to my clothing to get rid of the extra stickiness before I put it down on the page so it doesn't pull up any paper. And then I'm getting another one of those makeup brushes and just applying the ink through the stencil. This is one of my favorite ways of doing this. I do have all of the Ranger tools and things, and I do use those a lot. But for stencils, I really like these brushes better. The foam on the Ranger ones kind of falls apart. So just my recommendation. So I'm going to get another stencil. Going to line it up with that border image that I have. Grab some more tape, tape that down, and we'll get our stenciling done. There are a lot of really cool stencils out and a lot of cool border stencils. If you don't know about Stencil Girl Stencil Club, it's a club where you get stencils each month on a regular basis, on the 15th or whenever. And you can choose to get each month or, tell them, no, I don't really want this month or, all of that. But I have a lot of stencils that have come from Stencil Club because they are exclusive designs. They're not ones that you can get any other way. You have to be a member of Stencil Club to get them. It's like 25 bucks a month, and you get 3 different stencils. So for me, it's a good deal. I mean, if you consider shipping and all of that in there too. Now, I know international is going to be a little bit higher. It's $35 internationally. That doesn't always work out to 35 because your dollars may be different than my dollars. So you have to take into account the exchange rate too. But yeah, if your exchange rate is better than ours, hey, you got a deal. So I'm stamping this cute little image. This is from Paper Artsy, this little bird. And I'm also going to stamp it on the page because when I cut it out, there are little external pieces that I don't want to fussy cut. And I do still want to have that as part of the original image. So if you stamp it on the page and then glue the part that you cut down on top of it, then it will show up the way you want it to and have all of the features that were originally in the design without cutting anything off. And you won't have to cut out any of the excess because sometimes people cut like a 1/4-inch border around it. I didn't really want that. So I'm just using these alcohol markers. They're moving the ink around a little bit, which, yeah, I probably should have used a different ink, but it's what I grabbed. And I'm just cleaning the black off of my pen when I go back to the image. I picked these up at a stamp show. I think they were $1 a piece. And yeah, they're nice for coloring. So I have a cute little quote that I want to use for this page. And I'm going to write it onto the page, but first I want to get my bird down. So I'm doing some different colorization using these pens, blending it out as best I can with my ink smearing all over the place. Oh. Anyway, you guys get the drift. I could have stamped it over, gone to a different pen, gone to a different ink, but I was lazy. It's in my art journal. So I'm just going to grab a small pair of scissors and I start, trying to cut around everything. And I think, no, that's too fussy cutting. So I'm just going to go in close to the image and stamp that image once again on the page. And as I'm doing this, I go to the page, and of course, when I'm inking up, I get plaque from, drop the pad. So then I smear my page. So then I think, well, just go ahead and stamp that bird right over your smudge. I had a different pattern in mind, but sometimes you do what you have to do to fix your boo-boos, your oo-boos, your whatever. So it's my page. I'm happy with it no matter what. So I'm going to finish cutting out this image, and then I will glue it down. Nice thing about these little pages, these little journals, is you can flip them open at any place. So when it gets too thick on one side, I just flip a few more pages over and clip it down with a clip. Now I'm hitting the edge of that image with black. I want to make sure that the white paper where I cut it isn't going to show through. And I'm using two different types of glue here, a wet glue and a glue stick, to put that image down so it's not going to come off. And then I'm going to start with my quote. So now I'm speeding up the video even faster because you guys don't need to watch me writing the quote. What I do is I use a Posca pen and I put my quote on the page, and then I'll come back with a white pen, which is a Gelly Roll. Which one is this? It's a 0.08 Gelly Roll, and in white to emphasize that. And I'm drawing a little worm here for my birdie because the quote, which is a really cute quote, I originally saw this on a stamp from Rubbernecker, but I wanted it bigger than the stamped image. So it says, "If the early bird catches the worm, I'd rather sleep late and have chocolate." How true is that? So that's it for me today. I hope you're enjoying our snarky quotes and pages for the month of October. Getting that smile on your face and starting your day out right. And I will see you again soon with another snarky video. And thanks for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe, like, hit the bell for notification, and I'll see you. Bye, guys.